Why do steel tanks tend to be more expensive than poly tanks? Well, in this video we'll take you through the manufacturing processes of both types so that to help you get a better understanding of why the difference. Let's start with the steel tanks. To manufacture a steel tank you start with quality materials. At Orion Australia we use Australian made steel, a special grade designed for rolling and forming. We take the barrel sheets, which are cut to length, and then they are rolled into the right diameter, which is done in several passes. If you tried to roll it all at once in one pass, you'd crinkle the sheets and ruin your barrel. Once the barrel sheets are formed, they are then joined together using special self-piercing rivet technology. A brilliant way to join steel tanks, and they provide a strength which is unsurpassed in the industry. Once the barrel sheets are joined, the tank can then be lifted onto the base sheets. The base is cut to size and fitted to the tank and sealed with a mechanical sealer to make a good tight fit. Once the base is on, the tank can then be sealed internally. So we hop inside with a special silicone sealer, which is applied to the inside to every join and every spot where a rivet has been put. In the old days I used to use lead solder. Of course we don't do that nowadays. We use a food contact approved flexible sealer, which has proved to be much more satisfactory. Once the tank is sealed inside, the lid can then be put on and the tank can be taken outside for curing. Once the tank's cured, give it a day or so, we can then water test it. This is probably one of the most important parts of the manufacture of a steel tank. Given that it's a fabricated item that is joined around the base and up the seams, it's very important to test and make sure that the sealing has been adequate and successful. So we fill the tank up and have it sit there for a little while to ascertain that it is actually watertight. When it's proved to be watertight, we drain it out, put the tank onto a delivery skid where it waits the day of its delivery. Now, a poly tank. How to make a poly tank? Well, making a plastic tank is much like making an Easter egg. If you were going to make an Easter egg, you'd take a small mould, you'd pour some molten chocolate in, you'd roll it round and round and round till the chocolate set, then you'd open up your mould and out would come a chocolate egg. Well, with rotational moulding, it's somewhat similar in principle. We put plastic into the mould, it goes in cold, and as it's rotated around and around, it's heated, causing the plastic to form and stick to the inside of the mould. Once the tank is moulded out, we take the heat off or take it out of the oven and then let it cool. In this process, the plastic goes hard and shrinks a fraction to free itself off the side of the mould. The mould is then opened and the tank lifted out as a shell, which can then be fitted up with fittings and other bits and pieces as per the customer's request. All in all, the main difference is the amount of man hours that go into it. With a poly tank, a lot of the process is mechanised and automated, meaning that the actual man hours that go into it are substantially less than those that go into a steel tank. Just because a steel tank takes longer doesn't mean it's any less quality or any less of a tank, but it does mean that they tend to be more expensive than the poly ones. Hopefully this has given you a bit of an understanding, and we look forward to any other questions you might have.